Welcome to Alpha Proto. I'm Alpha Proto, and I have a guest. My guest is Dexter D. Lopez, aka Trickster. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Alright. Do you want me to call you Dexter or Trickster?
Whichever one you like. I usually go by Dexter.
Alright. And Dexter is the author and creator of the webtoon Molly and Faith, and he's the creator of Threesa Crowd, which is on Tapas. That's how you say it, right?
I think so.
Right. I'm gonna be drawing 3 characters from Threesa Crowd, Aaron and his buddies, while we have a discussion with Dexter.
Sweet.
So Dexter, tell us about Molly and Faith.
Okay, so Molly and Faith is basically I'm about to be really nerdy here. It's basically a prequel, spin-off, crossover comic book.
Oh, what is it crossing over with?
It's crossing over between my older comic book called Mr. Trickster and my future novel called Multi Molly.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of advertising Multi Molly in a way, because it's getting people ready for that character in her own solo story, right?
Yeah, exactly. Wanted to introduce the character slowly so that when her own stuff comes out, everybody will be like, "Oh, hey, that's Molly."
All right, that's cool. That's classic spin-off recipe. Actually, it'll be good just to get a barometer of how people respond to Molly too as a character.
Yeah, exactly.
So what inspired these characters, Molly and Faith?
Well, Molly was inspired by back in high school. I went to this literary magazine club.
Okay.
Where we just like share stories and put them in magazines by the end of the year. And there was one story that really hit me with like someone like had a what is it called? Like a character with 2 personalities, and they were going to school together with another character and stuff. And I was like, "Huh, that's actually pretty interesting. I never really see characters with multiple personalities before." So I thought, let me experiment on this. So I decided to make a few pages on what Multi Molly would be like, and well, yeah, Molly was born. She has multiple personalities and stuff.
Oh, so what triggers her multiple personalities?
Every single one of her personalities are triggered by different things. Her happy personality is triggered when, well, usually anything, because it's like her main personality.
Oh.
Sad when someone like really hurts her feelings. Angry when someone usually assaults her physically, not so much mentally.
All right.
And one of her special personalities, the smart one, only activates when she's wearing glasses.
I've been doing this joke, like when people like ask me stuff, I'll say, "Yeah, I'm smart. I wear glasses. Look at me." So,
yeah, that's the whole thing too.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Yep. And
what about Faith?
As for Faith, I actually wanted to, when I wanted to make the whole Molly and Faith thing, I wanted to develop Faith a little bit more, because at the time, Faith was just there. She wasn't actually like her own character yet.
Okay.
And she was basically the love interest of the main character from Mr. Trickster, who is Dexter.
All right.
And I was thinking to myself, she doesn't really have a personality. She's just there for the love interests and various other stuff. So I was thinking I should really like flesh her out. So I decided to put her in Molly and Faith to see what I can do for her, and I finally figured out her personality and everything.
Oh, and she's a foreign exchange student from America?
She is. Both of them is, actually.
Oh, okay. Are there, do you have any, like, shows or anything that inspire like your creativity that you watch? Like, what would you say would be like, oh, when I saw this show, or this character kind of reminds me of this character of Molly, or this character reminds me of Faith, and you draw inspiration from it, you know?
For Faith, it was actually a hell of a long time ago. I got inspired by her. What inspired me? It was that character from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who's all dark and mysterious and works for Shredder.
Oh,
I forgot her name.
Karai?
Karai, that's her name.
Oh, I see. Wow, that's a far cry from Karai. Like,
yeah.
It's hard I don't see the similarities.
Well, when see, I had like a different personality for Faith at first. Like I was gonna make her this dark, mysterious assassin or thief. Oh. And from there I like completely redid her to be like this other type of character who's a teenager trying to just like get by in life and everything. Wow. I think her original dark personality thing was going to be like called Mirage, because it's funny actually, because when I played one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games that was very similar to Smash Bros. Whenever you pick Karai, the announcer kind of sounds like he's saying Mirage, and I was like, huh, Mirage, maybe I should name my character that.
That's interesting how like the original inspiration could like lead to something that's completely different.
Yeah, exactly, because I thought of Faith a hell of a long time ago, like back in, I'd say, middle school. And I've been thinking about her personality for like a very long time now.
Oh. I know that I had a story in middle school that I started off, and it was weird. Like, you see a change in yourself from like when you're a kid and you're writing a story long term. Like, I started off, it was the 90s, and my comic started off as like just 90s extreme stuff, and then it turned into like some kind of harem comic. Because I started off reading X-Force comics with Cable and all of X-Force, and then I started watching Tenchi Muyo on Toonami, and then it turned into Tenchi Muyo kind of.
Oh, nice. That sounds awesome.
I don't know if they'll ever see the light of day.
Oh, maybe you can revisit it and see and rework the characters, I guess.
I'm thinking about it. Now, tell us about Three's a Crowd.
Okay, so Three's a Crowd is based on... It's literally just like a short story based on my old comic book, Mr. Trickster.
Okay.
It's basically shows like the teenage stories of the superheroes and supervillains. With Dex being the alter ego of Mr. Trickster, Jack being the alter ego of Frostbite, and Kevin being the alter ego of Flare Smite. Crazy names, I know. It is so creative.
Well, crazy names are good because they're you can copyright them or search them easier. You know, like the more original the name is, the less probability of it being confused with some other property.
That is very true, and it's a good thing I probably made those names when I was like super little. But yeah, Three's a Crowd is basically a short story based on Mr. Trickster. And at first, I just wanted to make random stories focusing on everybody doing their own thing. But then I decided to have them all meet at a party that one of the other characters was throwing. Right. So that we can have a whole big story happening here to introduce everyone in the comic book.
Yeah, it seems like all the threats just came together at the end of that first story. Where the party, like, you start off meeting all the characters and then they run into each other.
Exactly. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually did all that by accident. I just had to try to get them all together somehow, and I was thinking, well, they're teenagers, let them go to a party.
Well, that's where a lot of people meet, is at parties. So it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's true.
It's interesting how you like group all the characters into groups of 3. That was the first thing I noticed.
Yeah, because I noticed that most of my characters actually really work together in groups of 3. Like with Dex, Jack, and Kevin, they're like perfect with each other, with one being the comic relief, the other being super serious, and the other being kind of sarcastic, kind of like the straight-headed one.
Right?
It just works perfectly.
So, wow. Being a host is really difficult.
It's alright, dude.
Yeah, it's like I'm drawing and I'm talking, and it's like chewing gum and walking sort of thing. Patting your
Yeah, I know what
head
you mean.
So, you said that your story, Molly and Faith, has the most, like, fans? Like, it's the most popular story you've got right now?
It does, and I think it's because Webtoon is most prominent when it comes down to telling, like, manga stories.
Oh.
And since Molly and Faith is in the style of a manga, then it's perfect.
So, I noticed that the art styles are completely different. What are you making your, like, stories on? Like, one looks hand-drawn and the other one looks like it's assisted or 3D models.
Yes, so Molly and Faith was made by a program called Kamipo Manga. I think that's the full name of it.
Okay.
Where it's super easy to just make a 3D model, put it onto paper, like remodel it so it's like in a different pose, put in a word balloon or two, and bam, you got a comic.
That's actually really good because it stops people from having limitations on how they draw or how good they are at drawing, and they can just create and tell a story.
Exactly, and there's a lot of people who's made a lot of good comic books using that program.
I noticed that we have a common friend in It's a Trap Productions with Alexander Trapp.
Yeah, Traps is a really good friend.
Yep. He shows up to most of these streams I do, and he's a really supportive guy. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, he's in chat.
Once again, I forgot about the chat. I should have paid more attention to the chat. Alright. So, yep, there he is. It's a Trap says a common friend, me. And Linry Dude 84 is here he was my guest yesterday. And
Oh, sweet.
yeah, so, you know, it's good to have people supporting you, like, because, you know, sometimes you just fall into a vacuum of creating things, and you're like, I don't know if anyone's even paying attention to it, but it's nice to know that, yeah, it drops your motivation, so it's good to have people there to cheer you on.
Oh yeah, and Trap is a really good friend.
Yep. I noticed that, Trap doesn't let, stuff like he's created a lot of cool stuff with the animation programs that he's got, and he's a really good writer. He has stories to tell, and he gets them out there.
Yeah, he does. Some favorites being like
Ninja Steve.
Yeah, Ninja Steve. And he's doing something big with space opera.
Oh yeah. It just had the finale recently, didn't it? Or was that the setup for the finale?
I think it was the finale, and also like the setup for like redoing the whole show in a 3D program.
Oh, okay. I'm looking forward to that. I tend to avoid using 3D. I just don't feel that comfortable with it. But if Trap's able to do it, I mean, I could do it, I guess.
Yeah, believe it or not, there are a lot of non-artists who try out 3D animation and they find out that they're actually really good at it.
Huh. You know what? I'm gonna have to ask for some pointers from Alex about that.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Do you have any plans to use 3D programs in the future? Like maybe turn 3's a crowd? Really?
I do. Since I'm also an animator, I was thinking about dabbling in a little bit of 3D animation by making this show that I have an idea of called Living with Sonic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought I'd tackle some, like, fandom first before I do my own original stuff.
Yeah, fandom's always good to build an audience with.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm doing a couple of test animations before I get anything started.
So, what do you have planned for test animations? Like, anything too difficult or, just simple stuff?
I try to push myself when it comes down to test animations. Usually I'm testing my skills on special effects animations, like fire powers or sparks and stuff like that. And with 3D animation, I'm just testing out how I want my characters to move using a subpar laptop to animate them.
Oh. Hey, we've got to use what we can.
Yeah, exactly. Starving artists.
Right. You got to get the ideas out there.
Exactly. Support is over 9,000! I like it.
You know what? It's just 4 people in here watching us, but that's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
Have you ever thought about doing live streams?
I actually do live streams a lot, actually. I should do more of it because I've been missing my schedule. But yeah, I do live streams.
And do you live stream on Twitch or on YouTube?
I do both.
Oh, that's what I'm doing. But
nice.
I just pay I pay all my attention to YouTube mostly. There might be someone on Twitch right now, and I apologize for not paying you more attention and neglecting you, but And your YouTube is Trickster Plays.
I actually have 2 YouTubes. The one that I go live on is Trickster Plays It.
Oh, okay. And what's your other YouTube?
The other one is my actual name, Dexter D. Lopez.
Okay. I try to do as much research as I can before I do this so I can, ask good questions, but I didn't even know that. I'm not.
That's all right.
I'm not the investigative journalist I thought I was.
Don't worry, I'm pretty bad at research too.
Yeah. Alright, so I guess I'll explain what I've got here. Okay, I think I've got Aaron here, and I've got his 2 buddies over here.
Yeah, I see the little sketches here.
Right, and he has 1, he has 2, and he has 3. I'm kind of thinking I probably should have went like this, but I don't know, I guess. Yeah, that hand looks kind of weird. They all kind of look weird. I'm bad at drawing hands. I usually just draw fists, just big meaty fists to punch people with.
Yeah, big meaty fists. Yeah, hands are super hard to draw for any artist.
Yeah, they're mostly just big nubs for me.
Yeah, exactly.
So, have you always drawn? Like, did you grow up drawing? Is it something that you just needed to learn to tell your stories, or?
I actually never really used to draw, but when I was like 7 or 8, I did make a little comic book, like my very first comic book. It was horrible, to say the least.
Well, you're 7. You can't expect much from a 7-year-old.
That's true. I did have a lot of imagination though, and I really loved storytelling, and I didn't really get too serious into it until I turned 15, when I was like, you know what? Maybe I want to make these into animations. So I decided to practice my drawing skills all throughout high school. Took forever, but I finally got to a level that I'm actually satisfied with.
Oh. Well, you're good enough to tell your stories, and actually your art's gotten better. It's like the quality has improved, especially in Three's a Crowd. It's like we can see your progression as you draw more and more.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure what year I drew the first page of Three's a Crowd, but it was definitely a long time ago, and there's definitely a difference for now.
And I think you're on number 23, episode 23 of Three's a Crowd.
Yep, 23.
Oh, when can you have any plans for 24 anytime soon, or is it still in development?
I'm actually developing it. I'm actually developing it right now.
All right.
But it's a multi-page one, so I'm like halfway done.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go live later on today, so I can finish it off.
Oh, cool. So hopefully everyone could go from here to your stream after this.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Actually, that's pretty cool. That's kind of like when the show Samuel Law had Walker Texas Ranger on it, and then when Samuel Law went off, the villain went into Walker Texas Ranger, and then you finished the story through 2 shows, and then Sammo Hung showed up in Walker Texas Ranger, and that was a good crossover. I don't know, this is years ago. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's alright. I freaking love crossovers. Like, talk about any crossover, I'm super interested.
Yeah, I grew up watching a lot of TV, so I reference a lot of commercials and stuff.
Oh yeah, me too. I used to watch TV like there was no tomorrow.
Right. But that was before I got the internet, so now people mostly reference memes and stuff.
Yeah, memes.
So, Three's a Crowd has a kind of sitcom feel to it. So, do you watch a lot of sitcoms? Did you grow up watching a lot of sitcoms?
I actually have. I think most of the sitcoms that I've watched was like Nick at Night stuff and Disney Channel stuff, which, if I think about it now, oh god.
So,
But
yeah, I watched Nick at Night too, but it was like, I didn't have Cartoon Network, so late at night, it's like, I didn't really have any alternatives. It's like, it's that or the news, I guess.
yeah. Yeah, I used to watch stuff like iCarly and George Lopez. What else? A lot of Disney stuff, actually.
Oh. I noticed that kind of what you watch as a kid sets your, like, what you find funny, or it influences your sense of humor.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, it seems like I keep going back to talking about sitcoms for some reason on all my, like, live streams. I guess they had a bigger impact on me than I thought they did.
Well, ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, though. I do have to say, my main comic book, Mr. Trickster, was based on a lot of different shows, like Danny Phantom,
Okay.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's a big influence.
Oh.
And the Scott Pilgrim books and movie.
Oh, actually, I really did like the Scott Pilgrim movie. It had a lot of stuff you don't see in a lot of live action. It could have passed. Like, if they wanted to, it would have been easier to make an animated movie, and it would have been just as good.
Yeah, I know. Like, when they first showed, like, a little preview animation to promote the movie, I was thinking, they should really make a show or an animated movie. This would be awesome.
Yeah, because, like, the stuff they were doing in the movie just... It was... The storytelling was, like, really, really interesting, because Edgar Wright had, like, a vision, and it was crazy. It was, like, a hyper-realistic, like, cartoon, I guess. I don't know, it's weird. It was a live-action cartoon.
Yeah, exactly. That's, like, the best way to describe that.
I think the closest thing that I could think of in live-action that would even come close to it is, like, Super Sentai Power Rangers stuff.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because, like, yeah, they reference so many, like, game references, too, and it's so good.
Mm-hmm. I wish it made more money.
Yeah, I wish it had more traction and more views.
Yes.
At least people can know about it.
It's mostly a cult classic now. It was like an instant cult classic. It's basically like everybody who watched it loved it, but everyone who missed it, they missed out.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. I remember the movies that they were competing against, too. I think one of them was, like, The Other Guys, and that was pretty funny.
Oh, boy. I have a story about The Other Guys. I watched that movie and I just kept seeing. Okay, the other guys it's a hilarious movie, but I kept seeing the inconsistencies in editing. Like, there's one instance where the gun's in the holster, then the gun's on the ground, then the gun's on the holster, and the gun's on the ground, and then the car there's a red sports car, I think. The door's like it's wrecked, and then it's not wrecked, and then it's wrecked, and then. But it seemed like they mostly improv that movie.
Yeah, I can tell too, because that usually happens with comedies too. They don't really take it too much seriously, so they don't like do too much work to it. Especially back then. Nowadays, comedy movies are actually pretty good, but like back then, with the other guys, they probably didn't do too much to make it like a good production, I guess.
Yeah. Another thing about that movie is it seemed like Mark Wahlberg was trying to up Will Ferrell, like he was trying to be funnier than him.
Oh man,
It was like it was like a little competition in the movie. It's like he's trying to out Will Ferrell.
Oh, that must have been bad. I don't even remember too much of the movie, but that sounds like that's what they would do.
But it was funny though. I don't doubt that it was funny. It was pretty hilarious. It just seemed very random. It's like they found something they thought was funny and they would stick with it.
I think that's why they tried it again, somewhat with
Oh, Daddy's Home?
Yeah.
Oh, because the pairing worked, but the story was kind of, we could do better.
Yeah, and they actually did pretty good with Daddy's Home and the second one.
I still need to watch Daddy's Home. I've been meaning to watch it for the past, I guess, 4 years now.
It's pretty good, and the second one, in my opinion, is better.
Oh. Sequels, they have the possibility of being better. They could just be a rehash of the same premise. But from what I saw the trailer, it seemed like adding in their fathers does add an extra dimension to the relationship.
Oh yeah, that was a really good choice. That's why it was so funny.
And you said the characters in Three's a Crowd are from an earlier story where they're superheroes?
Yeah, some of the characters in Three's a Crowd are superheroes. Like Dex, Jack, and Kevin are superheroes. Most of the other ones are either regular teenagers or teenagers with powers but don't actually, do superhero work. They just do their own thing.
Oh, okay.
Like, Lily, she's a witch, an actual witch. She does her own thing. She doesn't really do superhero stuff. She just wants to do her own crap. Faith and Kim have their own secrets too. Oh, and that's another thing. Faith is in both webcomics, and it's the same Faith too. It's just that one is younger than the other, because the Molly and Faith one, that takes place how many years? I think 2 years before Three's a Crowd.
Oh, this before she transferred or before she came back to America?
Molly and Faith happened. She transferred to Japan.
Right.
And then, 2 years later, she went back, and then the whole events of Mr. Trickster and Three's a Crowd happened.
Oh, okay. Are you gonna put any Easter eggs in either of the stories to kind of...
I might put an Easter egg in Three's a Crowd where she mentions Molly and her friends back in Japan.
Oh, okay.
And actually, now that you bring that up, there is going to be a major Easter egg in the next chapter of Molly and Faith, where one of the characters from Three's a Crowd appears in Molly and Faith.
Oh. See, that's a really good idea, because you said that Molly and Faith has a bigger fan base, so the best thing to do is to try to get some of your fans from that into Three's a Crowd by, the crossovers.
Yeah, I want to show that even though Molly and Faith might end soon, it still continues into Three's a Crowd, which is great.
Yep. What do you call your... Is it like a universe? Dexter universe, or...
I had a company name for a little while called Make Magic Studios, so I like to think it's like a Make Magic universe.
Oh, okay.
Trying to make a big cinematic universe, just like Marvel.
So are you gonna have a like Infinity War big event book one day?
Oh, I hope so. I really hope so.
Where all the characters from Three's a Crowd and all the characters from Molly and Faith and your other Dexter story, like they all combine to stop a threat or just, I don't know, have another party.
Yeah. There'll be a big Thanos-like character snapping his fingers, and then Dexter's gonna be like, Jack, I don't feel so good.
No.
Oh, man. Yeah, the Trickster verse.
So what, you ended on a cliffhanger or what, you just keep going and tell a solid story?
I actually do have a solid ending. Well, actually, a solid kind of ending for Molly and Faith. Like, since it's 2 years before Three's a Crowd, I can actually continue on the story for Molly and Faith for a little bit, but I actually do want to end it soon, because, well, for one thing, doing 2 webcomics is hard.
Right.
And Molly and Faith has to end eventually, so that Three's a Crowd can continue and everything.
Yeah, it's really hard managing time between 2 projects.
Yep. And, oh, I didn't mention this before, but Three's a Crowd, it does take place 2 years after Molly and Faith, but it also takes place somewhere in the middle of the Mr. Trickster comic book story, which I have yet to show to the world. I only ever showed Mr. Trickster to my high school friends. That's about it.
Oh, do you get your friends to be your editor and try to, you know, see how your story's going and see if it's interesting or not, sort of thing?
I do, actually. I try to get as many people as I can to read the books so that they can give me some positive feedback.
Oh. Yeah, that's good. That way, they could see a angle or idea that you never even thought of, because, you know, if you just... I don't know how to say it, you stick to your own guns, like, you might miss a broader idea if you just don't communicate it with anyone else. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like, not gonna lie to you, I am horrible when it comes down to making up names. So, usually I just ask my friends and my cousins, like, what should I name this character or whatever. Like, Aaron was named after a actual jock in my school. That my cousin suggested. It was like, you should name this guy after the guy in that school. And I was like, oh, Aaron? Oh, yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, names seem to be the last thing I come up with when it comes to my stories.
Yeah, exactly, because you want to, you know, build up your characters and everything, and then you're like, what should I name this? Maybe something towards what he does, or what his personality like? But then, it's still kind of hard.
Yeah, I tend to go with, I like puns and plays on words, but I try to avoid them when I can.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Because sometimes it just gets a little too much.
Yeah, cause see, with Jack, since he has ice powers, I was thinking, since he has ice powers, maybe I should name him like a little pun, like Jack Frost, or something like that.
Right?
Yeah, and then his superhero name could be like Frostbite or something.
Actually, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it is pretty good. That was like the only creative name I made. I made up. Everything else was like, can you help me name this guy?
Yeah, I guess you could name people after people you know, but then, I don't know, they could say, are you basing this character on me? I don't like the representation of this character. I should be cooler.
Oh yeah, I always dread that. That's why I try to avoid actual people that I know to name them. Instead, I just like name them people that I know of. Like Aaron, I didn't actually know who Aaron Jock was in my school. I just knew his name. I think I actually named the character after a person I actually knew, but that was complete accident. I did not know that.
Oh, what happened? What do you mean? How do you find
Like,
out?
The character Leslie. I actually had a friend who had a friend named Leslie, and I guess I subconsciously remembered that name, so I just put it in for the character's name. And then later on, I actually met the actual Leslie, and I was like, "Oh, hi. I accidentally named a character after you. My bad. Is that okay?"
That's pretty neat. That's like a tribute.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I hope she's okay with it.
Yeah.
She said yes, but not sure if she actually was okay with it.
Well, has she read the book? I mean, story?
I think so. Yeah. We went to the same literary magazine, so she heard some of my stories.
Oh, okay. As long as she was fine with it.
Yeah.
This is... I usually don't draw more than one character together, but since it's Three's a Crowd, I decided to draw 3 characters, and they're all of varying quality so far.
Yeah, I'm seeing the drawing right now. It's actually looking pretty good.
Oh. I kind of wanted it a little bit more realistic, but it's leaning towards my anime influences and stuff. But yeah, this works.
Yeah, it works. Don't worry, man.
So, what's with the black eye? Why does this guy have a black eye?
Oh, so, when I first did the Three's a Crowd pages, I was thinking to myself, you know, I drew these jocks like so many times. It's kind of boring that they don't really have anything going for them. So I decided to give one of them a black eye and have a story behind it. Basically the story is Aaron accidentally hit one of them too hard when they were doing their football practice. That's pretty much it.
Oh, okay.
But I actually made it play out throughout the story. Like, he's gonna take some painkillers. He'll probably take a couple too many and be all a little loopy.
Oh, I did notice that a line about that in the last couple of comics.
Yeah, one of the other friends kind of mentioned it. He was like, probably shouldn't took. You probably took too many painkillers, buddy.
Seriously, stop taking those painkillers.
It's not good for you, man. You're gonna have a problem. God.
You think you're ever gonna animate these stories? Like, you can use them as storyboards or something like that?
Ooh, yeah, definitely. So, when I first started out Mr. Trickster, I was thinking to, like, do the whole story as comic books and everything.
Right.
And as I was planning out different comic books for Mr. Trickster, I was thinking to myself, this is a lot of comic books. I don't think I can do all this by myself. So I think I finally decided to have like a Zero Saga just for comic books, and then the rest of the whole Mr. Trickster series as an animated series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm still debating whether to make it like a web series or cave in and sign in with a deal with, like, I don't know, Fox or Cartoon Network or whatever, and have them show it.
Well, I know that not Cartoon Network. I know that Nickelodeon, sometimes they take submissions for, like, cartoons ideas and stuff.
Yeah, they're actually pretty good with that.
Yeah. So if you just do what I did was a friend and I wrote a script, and I drew like the characters, and then later on I did an animatic with storyboards. So I sent in storyboards of the first short story, like 5 minutes to introduce the characters, and then I sent in the script, and we sent in character turnarounds just for they have idea, just to, you know, like, give them a real idea of what the story would be.
Nice. Did you have to make like a what is it called? Like a story Bible or something like that?
Well, I think we just left it to like a paragraph introduction sort of thing, like what the story was going to be and who the characters were and what we would like to do with the story.
Ah, right, gotcha.
Yeah.
Did you? So with the animatics, did you like make a proto episode, like a what is it called? Like a pilot episode. That's what it's called.
Yeah, pretty much. We just took the script, and I got some actors to record it, and I took the storyboards, and it's kind of like a read-along story where you show pictures and the audio's going.
Like an animatic.
Yeah, animatic.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I never actually got up to that stage of like actually pitching my idea. That's actually pretty cool that you actually did that.
Yeah, it was originally we were just going to make a comic, but I was like, this opportunity to just skip the comic phase and just go right to television.
Oh yeah, that's exactly the mindset that I had too.
So I don't know when everyone takes submissions. It's a weird process. You see people get like Regular Show. I know that the creator of Regular Show, he did some student stuff, and then I guess he submitted that to Cartoon Network, and they liked it, so they just worked from there.
Yeah, he made like a couple shorts, right?
Yeah, AM in the PM or something like that. I think that's the name of it.
Yeah, and I remember now, yeah.
And he actually used characters that he later used in Regular Show, but he just adjusted them to the demographic because there were some drug references in
oh, shoot.
It kind of explains why everyone, like, some of the characters are like gumball machines and stuff. They weren't at first, it's just that they were on drugs. Like, the characters were on drugs and they turned into that stuff.
Oh man, that explains a lot.
Yep.
I know the creators of Phineas and Ferb, they had to pitch their show like a good 12 times, I think, to Disney before they actually made it into a show. Whoa. So they were like really persistent on that.
Well, it paid off. They got a show.
Oh yeah, they got a show and another show.
Oh. I wonder how you do that, though. How do you pitch to Disney XD and stuff?
I think you can either go about it by, like, either email or just going there physically and signing up for an appointment and just, like, pitch it there.
Oh. Or you can find out who the executives are, like, follow them to their house, and when they leave their house, you say, I've got a script, read it.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works.
I've seen a lot of movies where they do that. Like they're eating or something. It's like, here's my script. Take it.
Yeah, it's like, why are you annoying me? Just like, I have office hours.
Go away. I'm trying to have dinner.
Yeah, man.
So how did you meet Alexander Trapp? It's the Trapp Productions again?
Ooh, I like that story. Back in 2015, when I first started my YouTube channel, it was by the end of the year where I looked up this website called Go Animate, where it's basically a program where you can 2D animate no matter what your skills are.
It's a Trapp Productions used the set to maximum proficiency.
Yeah, exactly. So, I made a show just to test out the whole program called Oh My Josh, and I actually started to really like it, so I just started to make a whole season out of it, like about 10 episodes. And somewhere in the middle of that, I decided to look at other people's shows and everything in the forums, and I found Trapp's Ninja Steve, and I absolutely loved it. It was like 10 times better than what I was making. At least in my eyes, anyways, and it was so cool.
Yeah, he has a flair for comedy.
Oh yeah, he does. It's really good.
Yeah, he's quicker on his feet than I am. I kind of stumble.
So yeah, after I ended oh my gosh, after one season, I started to focus more on my YouTube channel, and Trap, like the stalker he is, I'm kidding. He followed my YouTube channel, and I followed his, and then we just started talking on Discord, and boom, the rest is history.
Oh, cool. Did I ever, Alexander Trapp's like notorious for his like Street Fighter sessions. Did you ever get to play Street Fighter against me or Trap?
I did play Street Fighter against Trap and Jay-Z Kitty.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually kind of bad at Street Fighter because I barely play enough fighting games. I should play more though.
Oh, yeah, they're kind of they're like they can be casual or they can be as deep as you want them to be. It just depends on how much time you put into them.
Yeah, exactly. Because like any game I pick up, I'm naturally good at. Let me show off my skills. But when it comes down to fighting games, I suck.
Oh. Well, you know, it's a good
except for Smash Bros, of course.
Oh yeah, that's a good party game. Like anybody can pick up and not really. I used to think I could pick up and play that game, but I've lost at Smash Brothers so much. It's like it's very demeaning of me. It's like I always thought I was good at fighting games, and then I'm like, I got to the point where like, oh, Smash Brothers, I can't play this game. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's like a whole lot going on with that game more than like Street Fighter. It's crazy.
Yeah, you have to rethink the way you play, like fighting games when you play that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, I actually played every single Smash Bros game, and I used to practice with my my cousins and friends. My cousin even taught me how to play as Lucas because playing as Lucas and Ness was hard as shiznit. And my other friend taught me how to play as Marth. He was actually pretty easy to play as. To master, it was a little bit harder, but it was well worth it, and I loved it.
Oh, we have a new person in the chat. It's Stephanie B. Hello, Stephanie B.
Hello, Stephanie.
My strategy for Smash Wii U was to just go through the entire roster and play everyone once to see who I just felt comfortable with in the game.
Ooh, that's a good tactic.
It took a while because there's so many characters in the game.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's gonna take forever with the Switch version of Smash Brothers because everyone is there.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. I'm super happy that Young Link is back because I used to main him like hardcore.
Yeah, I'll probably just stick with Bowser Jr.
Oh yeah, he's pretty good too.
I just like his mobility.
Yeah, and his arsenal is so good.
Yeah, just me hitting people or running away. Little brat, come back here.
Yeah, I don't think I actually played as every single character in the Wii U version. I just knew who I was playing as, so I just like stuck with my original characters.
Oh.
But I think I tried some new ones like Robin and well, any Fire Emblem character really.
Oh, yeah. They mostly have swords, so they have a range that other characters may not have.
Yeah, and there was so many freaking Fire Emblem characters. They might as well should have like renamed the game Smash Bros. Fire Emblem Edition.
Or Fire Emblem, featuring guest appearances from Nintendo.
Yeah. Exactly.
But Smash Brothers is what made Fire Emblem a international like household name because those characters showed up in the earlier games, but the Fire Emblem games never actually came to America.
Yeah, like when Marth and Roy first got introduced, I don't think they were even native to any of the US Fire Emblem games, because by that time, most of the Fire Emblem games were Japanese only.
Right. I know personally I never heard of Fire Emblem, but I've never been into RPGs that much. So.
Oh, I love RPGs, but surprisingly I only played one Fire Emblem game, and it's actually pretty good.
Oh. Actually, my first experience with RPGs was Chrono Trigger.
Oh, that's the one RPG game I've yet to play. I need to play that.
Yeah, it was very strange because I thought it was going to be like Legend of Zelda. I didn't know about turn-based combat, and it was an adjustment. I didn't even play the game. I just watched my brother play, and I was like, "So what do you do? How do you play this? How do you attack?" And it wasn't even strategy.
That must have been completely different for you.
Yeah, it was just like, okay, just keep pressing the attack button until you can attack, because there's a meter that fills up.
Yeah, there is.
It wasn't.
Oh man, I gotta try that out.
It was really interesting because they give you alternate stories for everything you do, so there's consequences to all the actions you have in the game.
Right, because you time travel, right?
Yeah, and even before that, well, I don't want to spoil the story. It's a really good game, even though I'm not good at it.
Yeah, I know that there's multiple endings, but that's about it. That's all I know about it. I really need to play it. Maybe I'll play it on stream one day.
Yeah, I'd give it a shot. It's worth it. It's a classic. It'll be interesting to see what ending you get.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The only other RPG I remember playing is Final Fantasy VIII. I think my brother and I put about, I don't know, 30 hours into the game. But we only got to like disc 2.
Oh man.
Yeah, there
was
a friend of mine from school who was like, "Hey, you can borrow the game and you can borrow the strategy guide." And I was looking at the strategy guide and I'm like, "Whoa, there's only some of the stuff is only available to certain discs." So I didn't leave the disc until I actually got what I was trying to get.
Oh man. Oh man, that game must have been long.
Well, I'm sure the game wasn't really supposed to be that long. It's just that I was going places that I wasn't supposed to go in the story yet.
Ah, gotcha. I think the only Final Fantasy game I've ever played was, well, what everybody thinks is the worst, Final Fantasy 13.
Oh, 13.
But to be honest, I actually really enjoyed it.
I think I remember 13. Is that the one with the bunny girl?
The bunny girl. No, not that one.
Oh, okay.
It's the one with Cloud and the black guy with the afro.
You sure that doesn't have bunny girls in it?
Not that I remember.
Huh. Yeah.
Chat, help us out.
Yeah, are there bunny girls in Final Fantasy 13?
Because I completely forgot. I haven't played that game in years.
Yeah, I never played it. Sorry, I guess.
That's alright. I think the first RPG game that I've ever played, and actually fell in love with RPGs because of it, was Tales of Symphonia.
Oh.
It was so good.
Is that turn-based, or is it...
It's actually action-based. It's like an action RPG.
Oh, okay, I love those.
Yeah, I really fell in love to RPGs when I played that game. Much later on, it turns out that they did a lot of RPG and anime tropes. But I don't care. I freaking loved it.
Oh, It's a Trap Productions says that Cloud is from Final Fantasy VII, and Dexter, the guy with the afro, is in Final Fantasy 13.
Oh, did I say Cloud? Oh, I'm an idiot. My bad. I meant to say Lightning. Because they have similar names, because, like, Lightning and Cloud.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 13 has Lightning and the guy with the afro. I can't believe I said Cloud. I'm an idiot.
So the bunny girls are in... Well, which one's the online one? Is that 11 or 12?
The online one is... That's a very good question. I think it's 15, isn't it?
Oh, no, 15 is... That's like the boy band on a cross-country trip game.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm not sure which one is the online one. It might be... I'm not exactly sure.
Chat, which Final Fantasy is online? Is it 11 or 12?
Oh, 14. Yeah, the 14 one is online.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Thanks, chat. Ooh, Lenroy loves Tails. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my
I
brother! He actually has all the Tales games, I think.
Really?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
He just collects games. So yeah, he has the Tales game.
Oh, that's so cool. I
Oh.
played both Symphonia games, and what other ones that I played? I played Zestiria and Vesperia.
Oh.
But so far my favorite is still Symphonia.
Oh. Well,
with like Zestiria coming in close second, because there's a lot going on for that one.
my brother just corrected me. He says no, he doesn't have all the Tales games, just all the Tales games on PlayStation 2.
Oh.
And GameCube.
Well, isn't that like 2 or 3?
Yeah, it's a few games, you know.
That's still pretty impressive.
Yeah, he gets deals. He's good at making his money, you know, go. Like,
Nice. 12 used to be online, but it got re-released as a standalone game called The Zodiac Age. What? Really?
Oh.
That's kind of weird. Like, how do you go from Final Fantasy and then be like, yeah, let's rename this to Zodiac Age? How does that work?
I don't know. I know that Final Fantasy Tactics was a different game I think it was a different game series that they ended up turning into a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, it's like a completely different genre, like a strategy RPG or something like that. And yeah, it's something similar to like Disgaea in that series.
Oh, wow! You're really versed in RPGs.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've heard of
RPGs.
this guy. Yeah, I'd probably know it if I saw it, like the box art. But yeah.
Oh yeah,
I never played it.
you would definitely know it if you looked at the box art. It's visually appealing and visually pretty different.
Yeah, I've noticed RPGs have like some of the best like box art, especially the older ones.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I'll look at a game and I'm like, wow, that's amazing art. And then I like look on the back, I flip it over and I'm like, oh, it's an RPG. I can't play those.
Yeah, they like to put a lot of time and money when it comes down to RPGs, because they're pretty big games and they're kind of hard to like code and everything.
Yeah, when you spend all that time developing a story, then you've got to make sure people stick around to actually finish it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they do so much work for like Tales games and Disgaea. Disgaea is on like the 5th game now.
Wow.
Yep, and most of them is for Sony systems, so I didn't really get to play too many of them. Just like the first one and the second one.
Yeah, my brother just handed me this. The Disgaea Triple Play Collection.
Oh, the triple play.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah, the art's amazing. Look at that. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's where like Disgaea's 1 through 4 all come together and just do stuff together. That's freaking awesome.
3, 4, and D2.
3, 4, and D2. Oh, nice. That's awesome. We got Loharl and the Dark Hero. I don't know the name of the guy from 3, but he looks pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Yep, that's pretty cool. Here you go. Thanks, man.
Sweet. Sometimes I wish I owned any PlayStation system so I could play as many RPGs as I want.
Yeah, it's like PlayStation's home of so many RPGs, especially Japanese ones.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, just sticking to Nintendo. I guess it wasn't such a bad idea, because Nintendo's pretty good too.
Yeah, Nintendo, they assure quality for the most part.
Oh yeah, they make sure that none of their games are lacking any kind of quality.
Yeah, they've got like originally I was back when I was a kid, I was planning on getting a Nintendo 64 and I was like, yeah, it's Mario, Nintendo all the way, yeah. And it's like, my brother, he ended up getting a PlayStation. I was like, why did you get a PlayStation? He was like, well, it had more games. I was like, oh. But then but if it wasn't for that, I would have missed out on a lot of stuff, because a lot of games were just disc-based, and Nintendo didn't want to use discs because they didn't like the loading times.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think my first console was the Sega Genesis, and shortly after, my nephew bought me the Nintendo 64, and I was like, oh my god, this system is awesome! Look at that, it's in 3D! My mind was blown. I had my first couple of games in that for that system was Snowboard Kids, Bomberman, Mario Party, Mario 64, all that stuff.
Wow. Well, I still haven't played Mario 64. It's like I missed a whole generation of Nintendo systems.
Oh my god, like, how can you miss Nintendo Mario 64? That's like the game.
I know, it's like, now I don't know. Well, okay, now I still don't have an N64, but I do have a 3DS, and I have Mario 64 for 3DS, but I still haven't played it.
Oh man.
It's like I just fell out. I missed out right there.
You sure did. There was like a whole speedrunner community around that game. I seen so many speedrunners like speedrun that game, and like the infamous big long jump was initiated in that game. They I think they call it BLJ for short.
Oh, okay.
And it was basically a technique to help you get to the final boss quicker. You basically like long jump on the stairs, and if you time it perfectly, you'll just shoot right through the freaking door. It's so freaking cool.
They actually delayed the release of the Nintendo 64 a few times.
They did? I actually don't remember that.
Yeah, it ended up getting released in 1997.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Holy crap.
But I think it was supposed to be out earlier than that.
Oh man. And they released their system around the time PlayStation had discs and stuff. Oh jeez.
Yeah. It was a big difference. Like, not having CD quality sound, you don't realize how big of a difference it is until you don't have it.
Yeah, exactly.
But they made the best out of it. Nintendo always, they know what they're doing. They have their strategy.
Oh yeah, they sure do. Like, some of the games on the 64 some of them were hit and miss, others were pretty damn iconic. Actually, a lot of them were pretty iconic.
Yeah.
Whether they were bad or good. Like, 007 GoldenEye.
Yeah.
The game itself was good at the time, pretty damn horrible, like now.
Right, but it
the
set standards that everyone, followed after that.
Yeah, exactly. And like, the most iconic thing about the game was the multiplayer. And that wasn't, like, an intended feature. They did that, like, at last minute, which is still blows my mind to this day.
There's still people who talk about that. I know my older brother, he had a N64, like, when he was in the military overseas, and he said he'd just play GoldenEye all the time.
Oh, man, that must have been perfect.
Yep.
Just playing as a spy while you're in the military. It must be surreal.
Yes, I guess so. I actually had to rent the N64. That's the only way I could play it.
Could you rent systems back then?
Yeah, there was a place called Microplay, and we could rent video game systems, and you get the system and one game for $16 for the first night, and $8 each additional night.
Oh wow, that's actually not that bad.
And I don't think I ever got Mario 64. We just ended up renting WCW Revenge, and there was something else. What else did we get? We rented WCW Revenge, and we just kept playing that mostly. Every time we rented the system, we get that. We were just big into wrestling back then.
Ooh, yeah. I think I didn't get big into wrestling until like the GameCube age with my friends and everything, because they freaking loved wrestling, and I was like, I guess I have to be big in wrestling too.
Well, the games are pretty good. Like, to create a wrestler aspect, like, even if you don't like wrestling that much, it's nice to make any character you want.
Oh yeah, that was really fun. In fact, I actually made an original character from one of the wrestling games, and actually made him into my comic book.
Who is he?
What was his name? His name is the Animal. I made it so that he can turn into this hybrid of like a lion, jaguar, gorilla kind of thing. Kind of like a chimera or whatever. But he was pretty badass.
That's a good idea. It's good not to let your ideas go to waste.
Yeah, exactly. And once I make a character, I want to do a lot with the character. So, like, you can imagine making background characters is not really much of a good deal for me. Just want to make a story with everything I make.
That's good, though. Like, nothing goes to waste.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, hey, Jay-Z Kitty's here.
Oh, Jay-Z's actually... She actually came to one of my streams.
Yay!
I always invade her streams, and I say silly stuff that makes no sense.
Well, welcome, Jay-Z. Glad you can make it.
Yeah. I've been watching her play Mario Maker.
Oh yeah, Mario Maker. She's been kind of cheating lately.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot less what the fudge.
Oh yeah, she's been doing better with that, at least. The drawing, by the way, is looking pretty good.
Oh, thanks. I was kind of just leaning on it for a second.
Yeah, it's looking really good right now.
Yeah, I think I'll hit this up with a brush. This is a whole lot. The other streams were just like one character, so it was about. I'll probably be done by now, but yeah, I'm just going in.
Yeah, the more characters you draw in, the longer it takes for it to get done. I've learned that the hard way.
Yeah, three's a crowd, you know.
Oh yeah.
So, what are your major like comedy influences?
Let's see, major comedy influences.
Because you do a lot of comedy in your stories.
I sure do. I try to make that like the main aspect of anything that I make, because like it's good to have a little comedy, even in like action stuff.
Yeah, everybody likes a little levity in their stories.
Exactly. Let's see, comedy influences. That's actually a tough one, because I watch a lot of shows. Oh, I think one good comedy influence would be Archer, the show.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really show it like in some of my works because I'm still trying to get used to their comedy and everything. But I think personally it's witty, and I just want to be that kind of person, like a witty comedy writer, because it sounds cool if I do my witty comic stuff.
Oh, Jay-Z's leaving. Oh, yeah, catch you in a few.
Alright, bye, Jay-Z.
Have a safe trip. So,
yeah,
Archer's a pretty new show, though. Doesn't
Archer
it, like,
is pretty new.
post-date your comics?
Yeah, I would say, like, some of the older, cartoons would be my, inspiration. Like, say, Dexter's Lab, or, Johnny Bravo, or stuff like that.
Oh, okay, the What a Cartoon era of Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those.
And some of the next era, cartoons too, like Chowder, and, a little bit of, Adventure Time. Just a little bit.
Oh, they've got a huge fan following.
Oh yeah, they do. I would love to integrate my comedy with their comedy, but some of their jokes are kind of weird, and you have to really think about what the heck they're talking about.
Oh, can you give me an example? I've only seen a little bit of Chowder.
Oh, with Chowder, Chowder's actually pretty easy, because usually they just do slapstick comedy. That's what it's called.
Right.
Where they do like Mungdal would say, "Chowder, get me so and so," and then he'll get something similar to that, but it wasn't really that, so it's like funny and stuff. I'm explaining it really horribly, but like it's really funny though.
Oh.
You gotta try it out.
My comedy's weird. I like puns and I like situational stuff.
Oh yeah, situational stuff is really good too. It's actually good to practice situational comedy, because like if you practice situational, then well you're pretty much set, because like situational comedy is actually pretty fresh and pretty I guess good.
Yeah, it's like if you have your characters established, then you put them in a situation and the comedy kind of plays out as the characters, you know, do their thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like with these three right here, like the comic I'm looking at right now is You Were the Worst, and that's Theresa Kraut #2, and that's just putting him in a situation where he sees what's her name? We were just talking about her.
Faith.
Yeah, he sees Faith, and then everything starts playing out from that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, that's exactly the type of humor or storytelling that I do. It's like I put my characters in a situation. I either let them talk about it or let them fix out the situation how they want to, because that's actually the best way how to play out characters in a situation. You play to their how they would solve the problem instead of how you would solve the problem.
Yeah, that's
that
where
makes
all
any
the
sense.
that's where all the jokes come from.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, Lemray had one. Ed and Eddie.
Yep. Oh, he asked me what this is on my hand. This is an arthritis glove. Ow, my fingers. No, it's it's an art glove. It's like you use it on I use it on my Cintiq screen, so my hand slides across the screen because I sweat a lot. My hand sweats, and I don't want it to stick to the glass screen. But I'm using it here for just for I won't smear the inks. At least that's what it's supposed to do in theory. Just stop me from smearing pencil lines and inks.
Yeah, it's also called a smudge guard.
Of course, that name's so appropriate. I wish I knew. I wish I knew that before I actually. Hey, do you have one?
I wish I did, but I've been trying to get like a Cintiq tablet for like forever now, but they're so damn expensive.
Yeah, I have to use my savings to get this one.
Yeah, one day I'll have the glove, and one day I'll draw on a screen. That would be so glorious.
I was looking into other options like getting an iPad and just using the programs on there, because the iPad pencil, iPencil, it seems just as good as Cintiq except cheaper. Yeah,
that's exactly what I was thinking too. Just like getting an iPad. Yeah, I mean it's portable, so like it's perfect. Just like draw anywhere.
It would probably be cheaper, and you could use it for more than like the Cintiq is basically a monitor screen with some buttons on it.
Yeah, and the situation that I'm in, I don't think I would need a giant screen on my tiny desk.
Yeah, I have it on an easel, and I'm not used to even painting on an easel. I usually do everything like this if I'm doing traditional or whatever. So it's not the natural way I draw. I naturally draw on my lap. So
oh yeah,
this big hunking thing, it's like it gets hot, so I have to have it on there.
Oh man, I didn't even think about it overheating. Oh
yeah,
man,
I doubt that an iPad would overheat. I'm pretty sure you could just turn it around like you would a piece of paper. So I would think about getting that. I have thought about it, but money. I already have this, so just do the best with what you got.
Yeah, exactly. Gonna get some money and probably get myself an iPad.
All right, now I'm gonna use I'll use a brush.
This is looking really good.
Oh, thanks.
So cool.
Oh wait,
This is like the second time I've seen my characters re-envision on another artist's paper.
Oh, when was the first time?
The first time was fan art from this really good animator. He was drawing Dex in like a little chibi cartoon style.
Oh, cool. I noticed that your YouTube, like the border of it has a lot of different art styles for the characters.
Oh yeah, there was this one video where I decided to draw my character Dexter in 5 or 6 different art styles.
Right.
Just to like practice out my skills and stuff. And that was actually my most popular video for a little while.
Huh.
So I decided to showcase that more by putting it on my banner and stuff.
That turned out really good. You're pretty versatile with your style.
Thanks. I'm really good at copying other people's style. I don't know what that says about me though.
Well, you know, that's basically that's how you learn though. If you're good at seeing something and interpreting what you see into lines, then that's good, because some people can't even draw a square the same way that they see it.
Yeah, and it takes a while to like practice that too.
Yeah, it's about like just getting an eye for what you see.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why so many art classes have you do figure drawing or just like still life of stuff sitting there. You're like, why? And it's like, well, you gotta be able to draw what you see.
Yeah, I actually went to the Art Institute and I had to do it that exactly, and I was like, oh my god, I did this in high school. Stop it. But I understand why they made me do that, and I was actually pretty happy about it.
Yeah, that's one thing I wasn't looking forward to doing in art school. But I never actually got to go to art school. Like, I ended up going... Well, I took all the local classes that I could at the local college, and then I went to a university, and I didn't have enough money to stay, so I didn't get to the actual art part. I did make movies, though. Like, I learned how to make movies, and I met a lot of people who ended up making movies, and I helped them, so...
Oh wow, that's actually pretty cool.
Well, it's just, you know, short films, but it was a good advantage and a good experience.
Yeah,
because I wanted to be an animator, but to be an animator you have to be a filmmaker, so they forced me to learn how to make movies.
Oh, I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, I was like, I just wanted to draw cartoons, and it's like, no, you got to take film classes.
Ugh.
But yeah, I had to act in other people's movies and stuff, because, you know, it's cheaper.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, if you're ever going to school, this is some good school advice. If you're ever thinking about going to art school or anything like that, just, whatever you decide, just go to, like, community college first to deal with the general studies.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, if you're really into what you want to do, whether it's drawing or animating or even game design, then you can go to a school like the Art Institute or Full Sail or something like that. Because if you go in straight right ahead and you kind of fail at it, then you've got some loans to pay.
Yeah, I tried my best to avoid loans.
Yep, I kind of didn't avoid it, so now I'm trying my best to finding ways to pay for it.
Yeah, my brother's in the same boat.
Oh man, talk about starving artists right there.
Yeah, I guess it happens to everyone.
Yep. But yeah, the video with the 5 art styles, I was actually thinking about making short animations in those art styles, and then like put it all in one video and everything.
Oh, cool.
So I can show like Dexter in different dimensions or something like that.
What do you use to animate?
For a while I used Adobe Flash, I guess now Adobe Animate.
Ah, cool.
But ever since I lost my subscription, I now use a free animation program called OpenToons. It's very similar to Toon Boom.
Oh, that's what I've got. I've got 2 Toon Booms. I was compelled to get it because I was watching this interview and the guy's like, "What? You got to take your animation seriously. You're gonna use Flash? Flash isn't made for animation." I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, and he's like, you've got to get a real animation program like Toon Boom. And I'm like, okay. So the marketing worked.
I do have to say though, Toon Boom and OpenToons is a more professional and more traditional animation program, but
Right.
he's kind of wrong because you can still use Adobe Animate for big production animations. In fact, a lot of shows use Adobe Animate, like I think Fairly Odd Parents uses it,
Oh, really?
along with like Family Guy. I could be wrong though, but shows along that line use Adobe Animate and OpenToons and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's kind of got a stigma from the way it started, though. It was mostly just, you move stuff around and slide it around and...
Yeah, and I understand that too because Adobe didn't really pay attention to their Flash product until they seen all the animations that were being made using this program, and they were like, "Oh, wow, these animations are good. Maybe we should focus on developing our program to be more animation style." And they finally listened, and well, yeah.
It's probably when Adobe bought the program from Mac. I forgot what they were called.
I think it was Macromedia or something like that.
Macromedia, yeah. They bought it and they saw the potential in it, and they were like, "Let's market this towards artists." So that's why they changed the name and made it more professional.
Yeah, it took them forever, and they're still taking forever to implement like good features for it. Although I guess the latest version of it is actually pretty darn good.
Oh, does it have a timeline like Toon Boom has? Like a time sheet, the animation time sheet?
It does not, and I don't think they're gonna implement that for a while because they got their own thing going, which I completely understand.
Yeah, but, I actually prefer the timeline. I'm just used to it because I have Macromedia Flash MX.
Yeah.
And that's what I used for the longest time. That's the program that I had in school when I was learning animation. So I'm just like, I learned how to use it, and it was tricky to learn because it wasn't that intuitive for me. And it didn't have a lot of features that modern Flash and whatever ended up. I forgot what the name of it was. Go Animate.
Like Macromedia Flash or
yeah, I have Macromedia Flash. Which one is it? I think it was, MX, and it had it was lacking a lot of features that showed up later because it's like from 2003.
Oh yeah, that one is really old.
Yeah, so there's a lot of workarounds that you wouldn't have to do if you had the newer programs.
Yeah, but yeah, their timeline is actually pretty intuitive. I didn't really like Toon Boom's timeline. At first, I was thinking about changing it so that it matches the Flash timeline, but then I was like, I got used to it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. What's the program that you're using again now?
Huh?
Well, you said that there's a alternative program that you're using now.
Right. OpenToons.
OpenToons.
It's just like Toon Boom Harmony, but like the best way to describe it actually, it's like Toon Boom Harmony meets Adobe After Effects.
Oh.
Yep. And
can you edit in it, you think? Live video or audio or?
I don't think so, because when you import a video into the program, it kind of slows it down, so it's not really good for like editing, but like more for like special effects using node-based stuff.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I think Toon Boom already does that too, so it might just be just another Toon Boom. But yeah, it's a really good program, and I really love it. And I'm still learning its ins and outs, because it has a lot of tools that it doesn't really tell you what it does until you like experiment with it. So it's not really intuitive, but once you get used to it, it's really good.
Oh, Lenry Dude's here, and he's saying he was talking about paying loans. He's like, I'm already paying loans, and he says, no, I feel that this should be a group chat because I have a lot to say about this subject. Am I paying loans?
Oh man,
I I think everyone who goes to school has a story about loans or money problems in general.
Yeah, loans is crappy.
Every time I saw an Art Institute video, okay, there was 2 times they got me. I called the Art Institute. I actually visited the Art Institute on 2 occasions, but I decided not to go. But of Dallas, and I called the last time I called. I was just curious because every time I saw it, I was like, yeah, I should just go where the art, learn my trade. I want to be an animator. Just go learn how to be an animator. Get a portfolio at a Art Institute. But I always chickened out because they were so. The people you talk to, they want you to sign up hardcore. They're like, you want to do this? You got to sign up, man. This is your last chance.
Yeah, I think it was best that you didn't go because the Art Institute actually had some problems right after I dropped out of that school.
Really?
They started closing down schools throughout the U.S., and I think Dallas was one of them.
Oh, I remember hearing about that. The students showed up, and they were waiting to get in class, and they were like, someone had to, show up and say, we're sorry, the school's closed.
Yeah, that was really bad. And when I actually went to the Art Institute, it was actually pretty normal. We went to our dorms and everything, and it was pretty cool. But then halfway through my, second year, I think it was, they said we had to move to different buildings for dorms. 2 different buildings, to be exact. Huh. One was closer to the school, which made sense, but the other one was clear across the city. And guess what? Guess which one I went to?
The one clear across the city.
Yup, it was horrible.
Golly.
And it wasn't even like an actual dorm. It was like apartment buildings.
Huh.
Yep, it was pretty bad. Right then and there, I knew Art Institute was doing pretty bad.
Yeah, they would call me every day for about 3 years.
Oh yeah, they would do that.
I filled out one of those forms that's like, would you like to... Because I didn't know it was for the Art Institute. It was just like... It was an ad on the side of a website. And it was like, would you like to be an animator? Sign up for this and we'll talk to you about it. And I was like, oh no, it's the Art Institute again. And for like 3 years they call and I'm like, my dad's like, don't answer the phone. It's just that Art Institute again. Until one day I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go up to him and I'm gonna listen to him and I'm just gonna say, no, I'm not gonna do this, sorry. But actually talk to him for like an hour or 2. And then the lady on the phone was like, come on, don't you want to do this? You want to be an artist and stuff? And then it's like, she said, wait, I've got someone else to talk to you. And I was like, okay. And there was like this, it was this older guy. He's like, hey, how you doing? I was like, fine. He's like, so, why are you on the phone right now? And I'm like, I just wanted to learn about the school. And he's like, if you really want to know about the school, you sign up. You're going to sign up, right? I was like, maybe. I don't. And he's like, well, what are you waiting for? And I'm like, I don't know. I just want to know about the school. And he's like, hey, how old are you? And I'm like, I'm 30. And he's like, what are you waiting for? You're getting old. Sign up now. You're going to sit there and you're just going to let time go by and you're not going to go to school. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I have the money. It's like, we have loans. And it's like, okay, loans. I don't know. I don't want to be in debt. People say don't take loans. He's like, okay, I'm going to give you one more last chance. I'm going to see if you're serious. You're going to sign up. Say you're going to sign up. And I'm like, I don't. You say you're going to sign up. And he's like, I'm like, no. He's like, I can't help you then. You're just going to live your life the way it is. You're never going to change. You're going to look back 3 years from now. You're going to be like, man, I could have been done with school, being an animator by now. And I'm like, okay. And he just hung up. And I was like, wow, that was crazy.
Oh my god.
So those recruiters are hardcore. They're really mean. Aggressive.
Oh man.
What? Oh.
I bet they look back to this day and be like, oh man, we could have like been a little bit less harsh on those students.
Yeah.
And like actually paid attention to our money so we don't lose the freaking schools.
Right. My brother's like, hey, you know what those recruiters are? Look at how they see loans. And I was like, what? And he's like, they see them as food. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yep. Yeah, it just seemed like they were trying to recruit people. From what I've heard, the main reason I didn't go to the Art Institute was when I went to junior college when they had their animation program, which I fell through in a second. But I won't talk about that. But they were like, "Yeah, it's good that you're here. You could end up in the Art Institute, and they brag about how most of their teachers are working on projects and stuff. But from what people told me, they just give you assignments and like that's it. They just let you loose, and they don't really
pretty
teach
much.
you. Yeah,
I mean, where I went to the Art Institute, I went to Philadelphia, and that city is actually pretty determined about like their works and their projects. Like, it's a really good city if you're like a voice actor.
really?
And yeah, because they actually have a good amount of projects for voice actors and regular like background actors too.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, everybody was like actually pretty busy with their stuff. Not busy enough, but like just like busy in general.
Oh, did the teachers have time for you? That's my biggest concern. Like, if you had questions, were they able to answer them and stuff?
Yeah, because I actually had a couple of good teachers. One in particular like really helped us, like gave us resources on like voice acting and like the fundamentals of animations and stuff. He was really cool. He actually said that he actually worked with Robin Williams in this movie. What movie was it? It was the one with the "Carpe Diem, seize the day" quote.
That's one of the Kevin Smith movies.
Yeah.
Oh,
He said he worked with Robin Williams in that movie, and you can actually see him in like the opening scene.
I'll just make it up and say The Breakfast Club. Wow, that was a great movie.
Oh yeah, Robin Williams as that teenager. Oh, that was so
yeah.
cool.
He really showed that principle.
Oh man, I like The Breakfast Club. It's really good.
That's interesting that your teacher like taught you. Did he teach you how to voice act or just how to work with them?
Just how to work with them.
That's good because that's a big element of animation is the voice acting.
Yeah, and like we wasn't even in like the curriculum of voice acting yet in animation. He just told us just to be a bro.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, he was a really cool guy.
Yeah.
I think he actually showed us the whole Robin Williams thing after Robin Williams died.
Oh, that's kind of a bummer.
Yep. Yeah, so I guess he felt kind of sad. So he was like, "Hey, let's do a movie day. Let's watch a Robin Williams movie where I was in it. Hey, that's me right over there." And I was like, "Oh, that's cute."
Yeah, I guess that's the advantage of having teachers that are part of the industry.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because like, there's some schools where they know what they're talking about in their own profession and everything, but they didn't actually like, was kind of successful, I guess, in a way.
It's kind of like that saying, "Those who can't do teach."
Yeah, kind of like that.
It's like, I could have been an animator, but I didn't get the opportunity, so I'm just going to teach you guys how to do it.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, they barely pay for the teachers.
Really?
Yeah, pay for teachers in colleges is not really that good unless like you're like a really important professor in the whole school itself.
Oh,
but other than that, not really much of a good pay.
Yeah, now that I think about it, aren't most of the teachers just considered lecturers?
Yeah, it is. In fact, like, one teacher was like didn't really care about like too much on teaching us and everything. That she was actually late, and I think she was late on purpose because she didn't really convince us why she was late. And the thing with like if a instructor is late, like I think it was like 20 or 30 minutes late, you get to go home. And I'm like, sweet.
Yeah, I think I've heard about that.
Yep, it's actually in the pamphlet and everything. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. It was pretty cool.
This picture's starting to look like a Guess Jeans ad or something. Just hanging with the bros.
I like it though. It kind of reminds me of like an anime opening. It's pretty cool.
Huh. That'd be cool. Three's a Crowd anime-fied.
Hey. I can just see it now. Aaron's like, "How dare you get close to my girlfriend? You shall pay, Dex." Odashi wa hua.
Oh, nani?
Oh man.
Yeah, this. I think I'm done.
Yeah, it looks pretty done.
Yeah.
I've been looking at you just like outlining everything, and it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give some separation with the thickness of the lines. You know, some weight to them. You know.
Yeah, I kind of like that art style. It's actually pretty cool. It like stands out between the background and other characters.
Oh, I forgot the black eye though.
Oh no, the black eye.
How long is he gonna have the black eye? Is it gonna stay around like that dude from Jackie Chan Adventures, like broken nose?
Oh, I remember that. That was that's funny.
It could be like a running gag. It's like every time he thinks it's healed, it just gets hit in the eye over and over again.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I should probably do that. But yeah, the Three's a Crowd story actually takes place, I think, all in one day. So I think he's probably gonna have it for like the whole time.
That's kind of like that Friday movie.
Friday. Oh yeah, the Friday movie. Yeah.
It all takes place in one day, every movie.
Yeah, I kind of like stories like that takes place all in one day, because it's kind of like, man, this adventure and all this drama happened all in one day? That's interesting as fudge. What's gonna happen the next day?
That actually makes a lot of sense, though. I like how you group all the characters are grouped up. So while these characters are doing this on that same day, on the other side of town or somewhere else, other characters are doing something else. So it could drag out for a while.
Yeah, exactly. And I chose like the mansion because that's a really big place. So while one group of characters are doing something in like the living room, another group of characters can do something completely different in like the kitchen or the play area or whatever.
Huh. So if this was ever to turn into an animated situation, would it be a movie that was like intercut between things, or would it be like a series?
I think it would be a movie. It would be short enough to be a movie, or like an animated short. I've been thinking about that too. It's actually really cool to think about like some of your comic books as a movie or a show.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely think Three's a Crowd would be like a movie or short animation.
All right.
In fact, if I'm actually being completely honest, I might actually do it myself.
Have you ever thought about crowdfunding anything?
Crowdfunding is a bit of an interesting decision, because like you're basically asking money for some of your work, and you have to do a lot of convincing to say, hey, this is some good you should give me some money.
Right, but you could get help that way. You wouldn't be all alone. You could actually hire people to help you out and finish your story. Or like if you want to do an animated feature, you could hire some people to help you animate.
That is very true. And I've been actually thinking about that, because like it's been taking me a while to finish some of the stuff. I might actually have to have some help.
Yeah. Plus, if you have if you ever finish the entire comic, you could use sections of that for storyboards, and then you could make sure that the story is told the way you want, and then you would just need the character turnarounds, the script, and then you just hire people to animate, people to do the backgrounds, actors, and I suggest just doing a short to sell the idea, and then like you'd have that short film like 5 minutes or 3 minutes, and then you shop that around to stuff like Cartoon Network or someone else to make a full-length feature, you know?
Yeah, that's a really good idea, actually. Because, like, it can actually work as a pilot episode but like not an actual chronological pilot episode. Like enough of an episode to showcase all the characters and who they are and what the story would be like, to be like something that you can pitch. That's actually really good.
Yeah, I just learned about pitching a few years ago, like ideas, because it's so hard to do everything by yourself. So you just get the funding of someone else who believes in your idea, and it's like, hey, we can make money doing this. People are really gonna enjoy this. So you hand off that idea so you could make more ideas and make, it's a cycle. You make money off of one idea, then you go to the next one and just tell your stories.
Yeah, it would be perfect. I like the idea.
Or you could just do an animatic like I do. It's a lot cheaper.
Oh yeah. Yeah, animatic is much easier and much cheaper.
Like Trap could probably help you find actors too.
Oh yeah, Trap is actually helping me find actors for the Molly and Faith trailer so that I can get more people to read the Molly and Faith comic.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So you're gonna have Molly and Faith talking about the comic?
I'm actually gonna have them voice some of the lines already in the comic and like edit it all together so that they're pretty much talking about the comic itself, like showing what it's about and stuff.
All right.
Yeah, it's gonna be really good.
I'd better sign this, and then we could be on our way and have dinner or whatever.
Sweet.
All right, who's here? Anyone else here? Okay.
Yeah, he's still here. I know Trap's still here.
Yep. Well, I appreciate everyone who showed up. I appreciate you showing up and like having this conversation with me, Trickster, and letting me learn about your characters and all your future projects and everything else.
Yeah, it's been really great talking with you. It's freaking awesome, and I love your art style. It's so great.
Oh, thanks. All right, let's finish this. All right, I'm gonna. You know what? Do you have any projects to plug or whatever? Or besides the comics and stuff.
Well, other than my comics,
YouTube? Yeah, tell us your YouTube.
Right, YouTube. My YouTube is Dexter D. Lopez, where I do animations and speed drawings every now and then.
All right.
I also have a Patreon. I think same name, Dexter D. Lopez.
All right.
Just support me, and I'll show previews of my next project or any of my webcomics.
Oh, cool. Everybody, just go to that, and we look forward to more of your work in the future, and I'll do more Inktober stuff, and everybody keep coming here to see that, I guess.
Sweet. I'll definitely be here to watch that.
All right. Well, this is goodbye then. Until next time, be seeing ya. Stay out of trouble.
See ya.